Yeah, just quick thought on it. Then we.
Well, I believe that Prof was right on that occasion.
He was right.
He was right. We have been saying that this current NPP is Nana People's Party, and not the New Patriotic Party. The last I had an interview with you, one-on-one. Immediately we formed our political party. You asked the same question. I told you that this is not New Patriotic Party. This is Nana People's Party, and Prof has been with this party for so long. He knows too well the character, the make of the New Patriotic Party that he joined. And it is not the same party today. For instance, when last did the party conduct a top-down approach in terms of electing its flag bearer? When last? So if he's telling you that this is not a New Patriotic Party that I signed on to, why would anybody begrudge him? When last did you hear such a magnificent or a high altitude of a group of people who came together to loot? Looting brigade. It is so, something when I see people speak, with all the indifference to my brother Kama, I'm very surprised he's able to defend the NPP.
Yeah, but nobody no court has put anybody in prison.
Your former finance minister says he won't come. Mbano. You say no boss.
No court has given a verdict that somebody has looted.
Let me tell you something.
Those are your words. Nobody has been found guilty of.
The people have looted. The Auditor General has surcharged 2 personalities in their party, Gyamfi Owari and then Asibe.
And they are in court for that.
No, they are. For the Auditor General to surcharge means the Auditor General has concluded that indeed you committed that crime. 2.4 billion chopable monies. I mean, what are we discussing this morning?
Contestant.
Who is contesting? The person contesting is begging that even the court is fast tracking it. They say the judge is fast tracking the whole thing. Why are you fast tracking? Hey, if you have been accused of something and you believe that you are innocent, wouldn't it be in your interest that the case is dispensed quickly so that you deal with it? Now, a party, someone that does an interview at 9 p.m. The interview was held between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. The general secretary of the party is so unbusy to the extent that, I mean, he had nothing to do except to early morning, without consultation with anybody, say, oh, we have referred the matter to the National Executive Committee. Hey, only last year you were in this country when they said they have even granted amnesty to everyone. Those that were facing disciplinary actions, they had granted amnesty to them. Those of us that went, to join the better party, they said, after you should write application letter. But as for that one, it was never going to happen. Now you, the same person that signed the letter, comes back and say that unilaterally, you are referring someone to National Executive Committee. When your party's own constitution mandates you that if there is any disciplinary action, you send it to the disciplinary committee. Because that is where natural justice takes place. That is where Professor Boakye will be allowed to also air his views why he made those statements that the party is in this work.
That's why he's been called to the committee to.
Which committee? He said NEC. It is disciplinary committee that's supposed to what? Recommend their actions to NEC for NEC to take a decision. Now, as part of the composition of NEC, you have regional chairman being part of it. Are you telling me that between Abronye and Professor Bawumia, all trances ought to be subjected to disciplinary action as against Abronye's own? What about Buga? What about Untumi? What about what's the name of that Koka also? When you have an elder with such a high level integrity like Professor Bawumia, you don't play with him. But the good thing is that what they are doing to Professor Bawumia, like he told everyone, he said there are virtual members of the New Patriotic Party. Those virtual members are actually the United Party members. All that they are waiting for is for us to have our final certificate, and they will come home. But what they are going through today, it is as though when you speak against bad tenants, they abhor it, they hate it.
Isn't that why maybe some of these things have festered in the party? The seeming, inability to instill discipline. Maybe that's what the party is doing now. Look, we are taking a new course of action. We want to instill discipline in the rank and file of the party. I mean, Professor Bawumia is a seasoned member of the party, and maybe comment like that should not be coming from him. And if the party is cracking the whip on somebody like Professor Bawumia, then every other person will act right.
The number of people who have made very dangerous statements, very highly inflammatory statements in the party comes nowhere near what Professor Frimpong Boakye did. In fact, he explained, he gave reasons why he called the party a fake party. Which of it I've explained to you? You can't tell me that a party that believes in the rule of law, a party that believes in everyone coming on board, you are going to hold your flag bearership election and you are charging 4.6 million, 46 billion OCDs. Professor Frimpong Boakye said, no, this is not NPP. It makes it fake.
Interesting.
You understand?
Yeah.
So nobody must downplay what Professor Frimpong Boakye has said. He has integrity more than.
Please let me correct this.
Yeah. Are you correct?
No one in the party charged 46 billion for.
Hey, come on, what are you saying? No, but this is. But you must correct him.
No, you said billion.
46 billion.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You mean
OCDs?
No, that is not true.
What is true?
Palpable.
It's not true. It's not true. Are you allowing us to go?
Excuse me. No,
please,
relax.
Please.
No, but why is he saying?
Let's correct it.
Let's just
development fee.
I'm coming. Let's get the clarification.
We charge 100,000 Ghana cedis to pick up the nomination.
Yes, 100,000. Let's go.
Then 500,000 for filing nomination.
And then 4 million.
600,000.
And the 4 million.
That is officially.
What are you talking?
That's exactly
That
what
is
the
not
party
true.
charged.
No.
And as we sit here,
Yes.
one of the contenders.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Attest to this.
Yes.
He paid 600,000
It's not true. It's not
Ghana
true.
cedis.
It's wow.
And he's in the contest.
No, but are you allowing
He's in the
this
contest.
palpable force
When
to
you
factor?
sit here, when you sit here
Yes.
to lie,
How can you
because you have been given a hatchet job to do.
I don't want us to spend so.
This last point.
That is not.
What was the reason? What was the reason for the withdrawal of Engineer Adenimo from the race? Do you remember?
Yeah, he mentioned it.
No.
What did he say?
I am saying.
He did say that. Look, the party from what we heard.
Let me read for 5 verses.
In fact, from what we heard from Engineer Adenimo, he did indicate that beyond the 100,000 and beyond the 500,000, there was a 4 million development.
Absolutely.
That was
Which respect. Which was not.
What are you talking about?
Okay. Which was not a matter put on all the candidates by force.
How can you say
yes.
that? What we do? Is it the case?
That's what I'm saying. You should not sit here.
Let's Solomon, let's
4.6 million.
Solomon, land for me.
So it's London.
Yeah,
in London, the lives of Kamala. The reasons why
don't run away, sit down.
Let me give it to you. Classify them as fake. Because if you come and sit here and you know very well that you charge 4.6 million choppable money, and you are telling us that someone refused to pay, and for that reason I am lying. Between you and I and the general public, who
all right, great, Solomon.
It's unfortunate that I have to go to another place, but whatever he will say, I will have the opportunity.
Don't go away. These are people who
just for those of you who haven't fully appreciated the issue we are dealing with, having to do the comment that were made by Professor Frimpong Boakye. We want to listen to him briefly. Kamala really wants Solomon to. Solomon, just stay a second just before you go.
No problem.
The presentation. All right, so let's listen to Professor Frimpong Boakye, what he actually said.
It's not good to your system.
Yeah. What I see now, it is not the NPP I used to.
But the question still stands.
The present NPP is not NPP, it's fake.
What?
Yeah. What I see now, it is not the NPP I used to.
But the question still stands. Do you still consider yourself a member of the NPP?
Not the fake one.
So which one is the real one?
The real one is there. It's a virtual thing, and the members are there in the background.
You think that...
Look at how they elected their last flag bearer. Twist the arms of weak and...
This is for the 2024 election.
Yes. Twist people's arms, bribing delegates, and intimidating others to get a flag bearer. This is a beginning of corruption, and this should not be allowed in any serious situation or any serious party. And there were issues. We lost the elections badly, and we did not deal with the issues that led to the losses, and then we still want to go in there, and I think it would be a train wreck.
Surprised that you consider this as a free speech. This is somebody who has openly expressed his wish of not belonging to the membership of the New Patriotic Party, and we are taking the steps to grant his wish for him. This is a person who has been one of those who have contributed to the downfall of the party. If you go down there and ask the grassroots of the party, you will see the damage that Professor Frimpong Boateng has done to the New Patriotic Party. The party has constitution, we have laws. And when you go against the laws, then the party will apply the appropriate provisions on that. That is why the General Secretary has referred the matter to the appropriate provisions of the party's constitution. The formation of the New Patriotic Party was not by force, it was a voluntary joining. So if the person deemed it necessary that he doesn't want to be a member of the New Patriotic Party again, such as him, then we take the appropriate steps to grant him his wish. And the party will make sure that everything that is going to happen in this particular process is going to be grounded on the rule of law.
Now, welcome back. Now, Solomon had to leave us because he's rushing to our sister station, Net2 TV, to also join them for their morning show. Now, we're still in studio with the guests, but let me come to you, Kamau, because you also had some thoughts you wanted to share. But the concern some people are sharing is that your party is now becoming one where if someone criticizes the party openly, they want to crack the whip. You want to put everybody into silence, sort of. I mean, now how do you respond to
Well, thank you very much. Every society works with discipline. And every leadership comes with discipline. And every political party comes with norms, and if you like, constitution and regulations. And like our Deputy General Secretary, whose voice we just played, alluded to, it is a voluntary action you have taken. It is something that you have decided to do for yourself and for the party to join and uphold the good name of that political party. Now, if you say, Ms. Bao, or if you ask me, that our party has become a party where when anybody criticizes, we come after that person, I think it's rather unfortunate to go on that tangent. Why? We have a constitution which, of course, puts on all of us, each member of the party, some duties. And Frimpong Boateng, Dr. Frimpong Boateng, should know better as somebody who indeed prides himself as a senior member of this party. That's why I say every society has discipline, and every leadership comes with discipline. And if our leaders decide to be indisciplined, you would have to discipline them. Completely. Why am I saying this? Let's take what the constitution of the party says about duties of a member of the party. And with a great respect, listen to what the constitution of the New Patriotic Party says. Member, protect and promote the good name of the party. 2, protect the unity of the party. 3, be loyal and truthful to the party. Okay? And it goes on. 4, abide by and publicly uphold the decisions of the party. Carry out his or her duties faithfully and with honesty to the best of his ability, and it goes on and on and on. And of course, this is Article 4 of the party's constitution, as it were. That's why I'm saying that Professor Frimpong Boateng should know better, and not just he alone. Whoever, if not for mischief reasons, if not for abroad reasons, okay, wants the party to move on, you don't wash your dirty linen outside.
You think he's doing this because he just wants to?
And I'm saying that we, the young people, know better than what they're doing. I will not subscribe to a political party like the NDC. If a member of the NDC comes to sit here and want to run down the NDC publicly, that person ought to be criticized. And if there are measures for the person to actually be brought to book on that, let so happen. And so what did he say? These are disgruntled members. They were disgruntled members of a party who decided to leave the party and decided to call themselves some UP plus or whatever they are, whether they are mobile phones, I don't know what it is. Okay? With some 31,000 people, you sit here and then you want to talk as if our party, that of course has a tradition and that has come up We have been in opposition before. It's not as if we have not been in opposition before. Under Jerry Rawlings, 19 years of misrule of Jerry Rawlings, the NPP was still in existence. Okay? We had our Dankwa club before we metamorphosed into a new patriotic party in 1992 thereabout, when the ban was lifted. Since then, we have run for over 30-something years. It's now taking some disgruntled members of the party like Sulu, former disgruntled members anyway, well, he's no more a member, who enjoyed and now appear ungrateful to the party, wants to come out and sit down to chastise the party for taking steps to ensure that sanity prevails in the party.
What about the concern that we've seen the party crack the whip? We've seen individuals who have done things and the party did crack the whip. But we also saw the party when it was time for elections. Then the party decides to grant wholesale clemency of a sort. Isn't this maybe part of the reason why because people feel that they do this, then the party will come, all right, everybody come back home, let's resolve it, let's bury that hatchet. Let
us not trivialize it. Every society, of course, gets to a point where you say, let's reconcile ourselves. And political parties are not left out. Okay? And like I said, we have a constitution that guides us. At the constituency level, okay, at the regional level and at the national level, there are mechanisms put in place for discipline to be instilled in the party. That we all know. So if at constituency level, some decisions were taken, regional level, some decisions were taken, and national things that look, for better cohesion and moving forward, let us all drop this and then come together, issue an amnesty, whoever has been suspended, let's come in and move. It does not mean that after doing this, a member of a good stature should go out there and sit on the media and chastise the party anyhow, baselessly, like what Professor Bawumia did. That doesn't mean. If an amnesty is granted, doesn't mean that it is a ticket for you to go out and then say anything when you have duties to perform as a member of the party.
What about the concern? Then maybe I'll come to Hamza on this. What about the concern that some say, and I've heard the General Secretary also speak on Asante Bediatuo and a few other media houses, and some say that his posturing appears to be that he has already taken a stance on this, even before referring Professor Bawumia to the committee for him to get the hearing. Some say
taking a stand based on
a stance that he already has a position that he wants to be expelled. The punishment is already predetermined.
This is a very huge platform, a respected platform for that matter, and we expect some of these innuendos to be nipped in the bud.
But we had your Deputy General Secretary say that they are helping him to be expelled from the party.
When you say it was already a prepared stance by our General Secretary, and I asked you based on what? Why? You can't put something on nothing in the first place.
No, the General Secretary said he will be expelled. Yes. So the point is that you have already referred him to the committee, and the understanding is that the committee will be given a fair hearing.
Let's be fair to the General Secretary. He said processes have actually been triggered to ensure that he's expelled from the party.
Yeah, but then you haven't given fair hearing, but you have already started to expel him.
Processes have been triggered. You see, there is. Let me read the Constitution again. Expulsion of a member is inculcated in our Constitution, clear. And if you want me to read the provision for you, I will read it now for you to see. And what warrants such an expulsion? Now, if this my brother sat here and said the interview was conducted around 9 p.m. and by the next morning, the General Secretary issued a notification or a communique to say that processes have actually been triggered. For that matter, he thinks the timing was too short and blah. I disagree. Why? As I sit here, if I should decide to take on my party, okay, needlessly and baselessly, the next second, if the General Secretary or whoever is in authority is listening, okay, it doesn't stop him and it doesn't stop any member to even petition that I should be expelled from the party. So for the General Secretary to have said that, I don't see why it's a problem. But if it was done yesterday, I think that the onus actually was on the good professor to have known that you have children. You have young ones growing. You are grooming them. And you gave birth to them to be better than you, not for you to continue to be better than them. He should have known that. Therefore, some of the things that they wouldn't even say, then you don't say it. How on earth can you come and say that you don't even see yourself as a member of the party? So it grounds the General Secretary's position that you should be expelled. You said you don't see yourself as a member of the party, first place. And we are talking about, so your loyalty is even questioned. And the party says you ought to be loyal to the party. Then again, you go further to say that it's a fake party, denigrating the party. And yet you say the General Secretary should sit down aloof and keep quiet, and nobody is saying that you shouldn't criticize. That is not criticism. When I sat here this morning, I told you we are going to even criticize this government. However, we will do that with circumspection. That's what I said. Yeah. When you are critiquing, okay, you must ensure that it becomes constructive. You must ensure that what you are saying holds weight. But you do not come to denigrate the name, the good name of your own party, and next time you say you are in the party, nobody can take you out. Please, this is an organization that we have all decided to subscribe to, and subscribe to the rules and regulations within it. For that matter, you cannot take the law into your own hands, no matter who you are. Nobody is above the law. No matter who you are, it has to be done. And of course, the amnesty we granted is not a ticket for anybody to sit down and run down.
All right, great. Let me come to...
We disagree.
I mean, we have seen this happen in your party before. We've seen a former Central Regional chairman of your party, suffer similar fate. We've seen, the former General Secretary, who has now become, I'm not sure what his status is now. I'm talking about Kwaku Annan. I mean, this is not new as far as the management of a political party is concerned.
No, this is absolutely new. And before I go on to why this is absolutely new and why you cannot compare that to what happened in the National Democratic Congress, I think after listening to my brothers on the possibility of a maintenance authority, still on the transport issue, I was trying to more or less give some relevance to the views being expressed. And instead of a maintenance authority, I think that it would be better for us to have it in the form of a limited liability company where the private sector can actually drive. But government just provides the needed legislation so that they will have that national outlook with regional offices, but largely driven by the private sector in terms of maintenance.
On a lighter note, I think you should raise a company like that and then get it.
I'm not really that big. I'm not a businessman.
It's fine-tuning the idea.
Brilliant. But Ms. Bao, now to the substantive issue of the internal happenings of the New Patriotic Party. Many would wonder why, for those of us in the National Democratic Congress, would be interested in a matter of this nature. First of all, we are Ghanaians, and we are all at the beck and call of the 1992 Constitution. And it is clear under the Constitution that the New Patriotic Party is a public entity. And that enjoins each and every one of us, whether you are a member of the CPP, the United Party, or the National Democratic Congress, to be interested in the activities of that particular political party. Because it is a public entity and at any point in time could be favored by the good people of this country to lead the country once again. And so I think that is where the right to be interested in the affairs of the New Patriotic Party stems from. But for many of us, this is not surprising, especially those in the National Democratic Congress.
Is it the comment or the action by the...
both the comment and that of the action. And I'll demonstrate why. Look, in 2007, when the NPP met in Legon to elect their flag bearer, many of us in the National Democratic Congress cautioned that an election of Nana Addo Danko Akufo Addo could spell doom, not just for the New Patriotic Party, but for the country as a whole. They attacked the NDC of engaging in all manner of propaganda simply to prevent Nana Addo Danko Akufo Addo from getting close to the presidency of the Republic. The NDC was not alone in that caution. His Excellency John Ajekum Kufuor had cause in London to caution the New Patriotic Party, and he was a sitting president then, to be wary of a candidate who was full of tension, because that candidate could lead the NPP into abyss. We all knew the person Nana Addo Danko John Ajekum Kufuor HE was referring to. They did not listen. They proceeded to elect Nana Addo Danko Akufo Addo. And upon his election, Nana Addo Danko Akufo Addo turned the New Patriotic Party of 92 to a political tradition that was so alien to the foundational principles of the NPP.
How so?
It became Nana Addo's own backyard political party. And for 8 good years in opposition, Nana Addo shaped the politics of the NPP, not according to the foundational principles of the Buzia Dankwa tradition, but according to his own parochial and personal ambitions. And for 8 years in opposition, no one questioned him. What did they think they were doing?
When you say he did not shape it according to the principles of the Buzia Dombo tradition, but his, I mean, what was the distinction there? What did he do which, was undermining the principles?
Democratic processes. It's about the party's democratic processes. Nana Addo became the Alpha and Omega. He took charge. Indeed, that was the reason why even at a point, Annan decided to break away from the party. Because of the hostilities he and his supporters suffered. Prior to even the 2008 general election, and subsequently even after, they decided to hold regional conferences, and the Annan team were completely taken off. When national executives of the party, national chairman in the person of Paul Afoko, and general secretary in the person of Kwabena Agyapong were elected in a popular suffrage, election, to lead the party, it had to take Nana Addo Danko Akufo Addo and his cabal to boot these national officers out of office. They are national chairman and general.
That was a decision that was taken.
Remember that they were actually
executive committee. It wasn't a Nana Addo decision.
Absolutely, but that's what I'm telling you.
It was a national committee that
he built a Nana Addo People's Party.
But it was a national committee. It was a national executive committee.
You can engage in that politics of what do you call it? Trying to paint it right. But we all knew, as at then, that the party was simply kowtowing to the rules and desires and wishes of Nana Addo Danko Akufo Addo. Even a first-year political science student knows this. Look, General Secretary was even ambushed. His vehicle destroyed at the party head office before his removal. Where was the likes? And that's why I'm telling you that the issue is both. Where were the likes of Professor Frimpong Boakye when that was happening within the politics of the NPP? He kept quiet. Even accepted after 2016 to serve as Nana Addo's Minister of Environment. So the NPP is a political party full of opportunists, driven with the desire to empower themselves at the expense of the state. So even this current outburst is never in the interest of the Republic of Ghana. It is in the interest of Professor Frimpong Boakye, as it is with many NPP people. So that's why I'm telling you that even his outburst is problematic. Because it is parochial, it is sectional, it has nothing to do with serving the national interest. But that does not mean that he's wrong. In the conclusion that this is a fake political party, and that's why I had to give you that historical evolution of the fakeness of the current NPP. Ms. Mao, as if that was not enough. And for 8 good years in government, Nana Addo did not only destroy the NPP. For 8 good years in government, we watched Nana Addo destroy every fiber of our life as a country, from the economy to state institutions. And for the first time, we saw national security, a party tax, attacking judges in Kumasi and the likes, where they had to run for their lives. We experienced all manner of things. Journalists who since 92 have practiced with ease in this country. Journalists had to be flown out of this country for their own safety. Indeed, unfortunately, one of them was coldly murdered in the last 8 years. That was what happened to freedom of speech and a threat to our democracy. Do you call that the NPP of Buzia Danko tradition?
I mean,
it is only fair you can
I have not even done anything yet.
What's the way forward? What's the way forward? I want to
now it is important. Now important
I'll try and get some.
And let him know where he's coming from.
I'll try and get some.
I am making an analysis.
Hamza should know where he's coming from himself.
Hamza, land for me, please. Land for me, please.
Please bow. You see, so that is the trajectory the party has been going. Now Nana Addo is no more. When Nana Addo was before he exited, he presided over the election of the current National Executive Committee and even their front bench in Parliament. His influence was brought to bear in determining who became national chairman, general secretary, and the like. That's the same with that of the, what do you call it? That is leadership in Parliament. I know as a matter of fact that the decision to appoint Afenyo Martin as minority leader was taken in consultation at the behest of His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo Addo. I know that political pressure influenced the election of Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia as flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party in the 2024 general election. And that is what many of these people are talking about. Who can deny that? Incumbency power? Who can possibly deny that influence? And so we are still living, the NPP for that matter, they are still reeling under the negative effects of Nana Addo Akufo Addo's leadership, even now that he's former president. What we have in place, please, under a minute. What we have in place is still the consequential effects of that bad leadership. So you do not expect anything reasonable from the current National Executive Committee. When you were trying to correct him about their decision to sideline their own internal processes, the General Secretary, we all heard him. What did he say? He wants to be out of the party. We are making it easier. We are trying to quicken the processes for him to leave the party. Is that not what Haruna said? We will help him realize that dream. Is that not what he said? And you sit here and claim that you are taking him to your internal processes. This is a confused party, and a party that cannot lead itself should not even dream of getting close to the leadership.
My brother, let me look. You see, there are some impressions.
Just do 2 minutes, Ivan. I'll let you have the last take on this. Then I'll come to the studio.
This is very
Ivan, I'll let you have the last take on this.
The person who was your founder, the NDC's founder, late Jerry Rawlings, the kind of inhumane treatment he was subjected to by the likes of Hamza and other members of his own party.
Was he sacked from the party?
Okay, listen, please, I'm saying the founder.
Don't be comparing.
Again, we sit here.
And oranges.
The horse hips, with all respect, the horse hips that you use
from the party
to chase the likes of Obeda Samuel and go out of the party. To the extent that you brought someone please.
Nobody sacked him.
The horse you used to take them out. And I'm saying, John Dramani Mahama, today you are presenting him like a saint. Interesting. We all remember Fonka Games, Atamals, and what happened to Rawlings' wife. We all remember how you skewed to ensure that nobody even contests John Dramani Mahama and what Dufo and Co had to go through in this party. We sit here today, your general secretary is under siege.
Did Dufo leave the party?
Your general secretary, Fifi Kote, is under siege.
For what?
By you, just because he has come out to caution or to issue statements that says, look, let's build a political party. You are fighting him. We sit here today. Your president or our president had cause to call your own party a lame horse after the 2016 election. John Dramani Mahama is on record to have described the NDC as a lame horse, that he rode a lame horse into the but yet still you nurtured, protected him, brought him and washed him and then present him as if he's the best. Why? You are here saying that some people sit and then use mechanisms to ensure that other people are elected. What you do in NDC, we also watch. But of course, the future is pregnant.
Interesting.
We are watching. We have seen ours. We lost elections, and then we are trying to reorganize ourselves. You lost election 8 years ago, and then you went back to the drawing board, reorganized yourself, and then you came back. We are indeed
We didn't have
sure that we're going to put our party together and we will not allow any indiscipline to continue in this party, no matter what happens.
Ivan,
but you are digging yourself further.
No, that is not your business.
Ivan, proceed.
I think in an attempt to deepen internal party democracy, it is quite imperative to appreciate concerns being raised by anybody. Political parties are full of individuals from different backgrounds, different orientation, and at any point in time, people have the right to express their opinion, dissatisfaction concerning the state of play at any point in time. And looking at the statement from Professor Frimpong Boateng, I think it has been poorly appreciated in the sense that people just look at it from the terms like the party is fake. And the opinion or beneath those statements is a certain frustration that has been brought to bear in the way and the manner that he spoke. Listening to him beyond the words, his gestures, his demeanor could tell a whole story more than the words that he used. And for me, he's entitled to his opinion as an elder of the political party, dissatisfied. He has the right to speak his mind, you understand? But the problem is that hot-headedness, this unruly reaction from the party, because NPP as a political party will not expect everybody to agree with you. So at any point in time, if somebody of his like has spoken something that you disagree, I wasn't expecting the.
But shouldn't they expect better from somebody like
you said?
Shouldn't they expect better from someone like you?
No, the concerns being raised. He's not the only person who has made such concerns. President Kufuor expressed his concern about the state of play. Kwame Piani, is that what they said? Made similar. No, it's about expressing their concern. It doesn't matter how. That is why I'm saying that what he said has been narrowly appreciated. You understand that? Because if you do some of these things, you end like weaponizing the entire party.
What do you think the NPP can do to try and
I think
bring some stability?
I keep telling people that when you're a political party and you lose power, you lose connection with the people, then you move to a phase of reconciliation. That is the path the NPP decided to avoid. And it's the reason why all these things are coming up. For instance, political reorganization has its own template, and it has always been the bottom-up approach. Yes, you can decide to go the other way. But the reason for it is that when parties lose political power like this, there are internal fractures and those kind of discontention among people. So you use the bottom-up approach to patch these things, you understand? But they decided to go for the flip. They flipped that bottom-up approach and started from the top. And this is what has given rise to some of these concerns, because the phase that they were supposed to engage to engagement and bring people on board just to ensure that the party will be on the right footing for the job ahead, they did not. And again, anybody who would have expected that as a political party, having lost political power, the best option available would have been attempting to engage people like Solo and other people who have left. But you listen to the...
But they've gone to form their party. They have moved on.
It doesn't matter, but
the party has the right to say whatever against my party. I have no right to support.
Which attempts were made to bring these people on board? That is what I'm saying, that if you lose power, you have to concede, move to a phase of reconciliation. You become a mother trying to bring everybody on board.
But they did that, didn't they? They opened the room for everybody to come, reapply.
And beyond
it's difficult to convince someone.
Beyond that, look at the current happenings in the party. And again, there are people who are very much convinced within them that in the previous elections, most of the executive rooted for a particular candidate, you understand, and that is trite knowledge, we all know. So maintaining the same executive going for the next election, people will not be at ease. That is why some of them are threatening that they will come out with their own metro man at the polling station to have some of these things. So for me, I think the NPP has moved itself into the phase where they have decided not to become amenable to reasoning, common sense, because all the proper structural adjustment that is done to political party that very often lose power and seek to contest the next election, they've abandoned everything. People are just driving at the behest of personal emotion and dictation.
All right, let's see how many people. I see a lot of people nodding their heads. They seem to agree with a lot of things.
But you are not allowing me to flow. That is the challenge.
You 30 seconds.
So for me, I think we all want our democracy to deepen. the NPP is a critical and an integral part of Ghana's democracy. I want them to be better. But the trajectory they are on is very dangerous. And it's unfortunate they have become not amenable to reasoning. They don't even appreciate the concerns being raised. The very moment you speak, they think you're against them. And that is quite unfortunate. For me, I think the desperate attempt to weaponize the political party against, or this desperate attempt to transform everybody into a sort of a sycophant who will just heal the system, it's quite unfortunate. People should be allowed to express their opinion, because Professor Frimpong Boateng, they said he contributed to the loss of the party. In what sense? The guy conducted an independent investigation and brought out the outcome. So were you expecting him to conceal the findings? Is that what you are saying? So all these things are not relevant argument to make. So for me, I think they should cool their head down. The General Secretary should just come down from his high horse and see himself as a CEO of a political party who is managing human beings. You don't become a reactionary and be speaking on radio in a manner that he did. It's quite unfortunate.
All right, guys, let's try and do this very, very briefly. 30 seconds. Let's go. Who has the microphone?
Thank you so much, Mr. Misbah. I strongly agree with Mr. Suhini with the statement that where he said Nana Addo was able to skew everything to his satisfaction. I believe the first person who is supposed to face disciplinary action within the NDC should be Nana Addo. I wasn't expecting such a letter to come from a lawyer of high standard like Mr. Justice Justin Kodua, because what happens to Article 4, Clause 3 of the NPP Constitution that talks about disciplinary action? The statement made by the Deputy Secretary of the NPP has already prejudiced the whole matter. When someone makes a statement and you think it's indiscipline, you refer the person to the discipline committee. But issuing a statement that is referring the person to the neck instead of the discipline committee, you've already made a prejudiced statement.
Interesting. And I think that's a
Zach,
point. Yeah.
Thanks very much. I think as a political party, you have rules that governs us. Even in the NDC, the Central Regional Chairman, the former Regional Chairman in Central Region, Ato Jacobs, was suspended because of anti-party conduct. And even also, as they were saying, Polafoko and Kojo Kyeremanteng were suspended, and then we want power. If we can flip some people in line, or we can suspend some people and win power, I think there's nothing wrong with that.
All right.
And also, let me.
I think you have spoken. If someone else.
I would like to also.
Ms. Well.
2 seconds. Okay, you sat down. I was giving you 2 seconds, but you sat down.
What about the new? The NPP is doing is actually making their party unattractive for the young people, because even the young people, even they are doing this to Professor Frimpong Boateng. How much more a young politician?
They are saying they are doing it so that it will serve as deterrence to young people to.
Actually, it's in the wrong direction.
Okay.
Thank you once again. Yeah, I think my problem is the place he speak, because this case is very eternal and it's in the party, within the party. We are all in the party. We know what is going on in the party, but you can't come out and voice this out, because it will make the party unattractive, because it's fake. We are all in the party, we know what is going on, but we don't talk. We address the problem. Internal, we talk. Internal meetings, we talk. Then we address issues, because we are an organization. We can't come out and talk on public television.
Thank you so much. Ivan, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your patience.
Just briefly, you see, it is important.
We have to go. We have to leave.
We are almost.
55.
No, I give you opportunity.
We have to leave now.
We have not said anything.
We have to. I've been prompted. We have to leave.
The point, the distinction, this distinction is important. This distinction is important. This distinction is important.
These people have a history
in the National Democratic,
and they would have to advise the NPP.
That is why.
No, I disagree.
I'm pleased. That is why in my submission,
have to advise the NPP.
I'm told you have to go.
That is why in my submission I made the point that Professor Frimpong Boateng has a problem. But when it comes to the approach in sanctioning people, you cannot compare what is happening now in the NPP to what happened in the NPP.
Oh no!
Thank you so much.
And that's why the two cannot.
What you people have done to
we go through back sometime next week, and of course, so much more conversations to have.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.